Welcome in, everybody. Ty Bartell, Anthony Hartwig joining me alongside for another Coach's Corner. This time we go into the AAC with new head coach Natalie Lynn of the Austintown Fitch girls basketball. Obviously, no stranger to girls basketball in Austintown Fitch, but your first time head coaching gig here. First and foremost, Coach, how are we doing?
Not too bad. It's been a good start to the season so far. We're all excited. We just had our preview game last night, and it was only 2 quarters, but things are looking pretty good if we keep playing the way we did last night.
Should have a lot of returners, only one senior last year. So, I mean, for what you guys are bringing back, I saw a lot of talent that has continued to develop last season. Why don't we shout out some of those returning names and maybe some new faces that we're going to have to learn the names of real quickly here?
Zeta Creaky is back. She's a senior. Our new senior this year who played in the past but didn't play last year is Jocelyn Jordan, and she's really made a night and day difference to this team. We are very thankful that she's back. Her rebounding capabilities and all that are really going to help us out. Ayla Ray is back again. She is a junior now. Rachel Spalding, Destiny McCullough, Sam Severin. I mean, all these girls, and the problem is they're all guards, and our bench is just so deep with guards right now. It's even hard to get these girls in, and they deserve to get in and play because they're great, but it's a good problem to have. But we've got a lot of talent on this team.
Last year we saw this team gain a lot of experience. A lot of girls that weren't on the varsity court or first year on the varsity court gained that first year under their belt. How much do you think you're going to lean on that experience they were able to gain last year, this year, knowing that they're one more year older, one more year more experience, and maybe one more year even better with basketball IQ?
We've been gaining on it a lot already. I mean, I wasn't here last year. I was here the year prior to that coaching. And so were my assistants. And we keep telling each other, wow, Zeta now compared to when we were here 2 years ago, how much she's grown from last year. She used to struggle bringing the ball up the floor, changing directions, handling the pressure. And now it's like you can give her the ball and almost turn your back to her and know she'll be okay and you don't have to worry about it. So just to see how much they've grown in the past year, it's amazing, and we're thankful for it.
As I mentioned before, Coach, you're no stranger to this girls' basketball team. You played on with two really phenomenal athletes in both Megan Sefcik and Sabria Hunter. You got a chance to play on both those teams, got a chance to be on a lot of winning teams too. My question is, do you think those experience that you had on the playing time on the hardwood, do you think those winning seasons are going to be able to pay off now as a head coaching role? And how do you plan on utilizing what you learned as a player now as a coach?
I really hope they pay off, especially going through different programs as well, like stepping outside of Austintown and seeing how other teams run some things too. The intensity that we were expected to have at all times with Coach Siepen and Coach Sternberger, which was when Megan was here and Sabria was here too. It's not around at other schools. And it was kind of eye-opening that, oh, it's not like this everywhere. So we bring that intensity with us, but also knowing the fact that you can't always be that strict person who doesn't let them have any fun all the time either. There has to be a balance, and you have to develop that rapport with the kids too. If you want them to go 110% for you, you've got to be willing to give something up too so that they can trust you and then buy in for it.
What was the biggest mental shift when you went from player to coach that you had to make for yourself?
Oh man. Probably communication maybe, or just knowing, no, it was, I expected them to do things the way I was taught, and I always use my left hand and I'm right-handed, and I think I probably made more shots with my left hand than my right hand in my career. And just what the heck, why aren't you using your left hand? Like, I did it, you should do it. And realizing that no, they're not going to do it. We have to be patient with them. So my patience, I would say, is a big one.
In looking at this team too, I mean, you've already, I think, built a great rapport in my conversations with the girls. They all seem to love the new style and how everything is being approached. What have you seen, though, in the practices wise that you would say are the team's strengths that you're going to have to lean on this season for victories?
Right now, our strengths are our quickness and our speed, just getting out and going and not having to set up that offense. Sometimes when we set up the offense, we become a little stagnant as a whole team versus when we can just stay in the flow of the game the whole time. When we control the pace of the game, we're good. when we get slowed down and when we actually have to set up and almost think about basketball is when we have a bit of an issue. But when there's no thinking and the girls can just get out and play, they're great.
All right, we've talked about your roster. Let's talk about the schedule and start with that AAC conference that we know is very tough on both sides of basketball, boys and girls. What do you expect out of the conference this year, and where do you see the Falcons kind of playing into the picture of the AAC?
I think this conference is going to be tough this year. I mean, Coach Hamilton's back at Boardman now too, and with Coach Michella. And so they've got some good girls back as well. And Canfield's always tough as well as Howland. So I think it's definitely going to be a toss up on what happens. But our goal is to win the AAC. And I mean, we just got to go in there. We've got to take control every single game.
One player I want to highlight too that I know you're going to need to lean on to try to navigate that tough conference, Zeta Creaky. We coined the term the key for her as a nickname because she seems to unlock a lot of new distances she could shoot from, unlock a lot of defenses too because of that. What kind of role do you think she's going to play on this team this year? And what have you seen from her leadership wise now stepping into her senior season?
She's definitely grown a lot as a leader since I was here 2 years ago, and I've coached her since 8th grade as well, and she's grown so much since then. She's a lot better at communicating and seeing the floor and controlling the offense. She recognizes right away, all right, what are they in a zone now? Are they in man? She doesn't lean on us as much to be like, all right, this is what we're in, this is what we're doing. And then offensively, just once she's in her flow, she's good. So we need to make sure we're getting the offense involved around her and that we can get her in the rhythm and so her threes will start falling.
You know, in other programs, players that can score like that can fall into the trap of feeling like they have to or feeling like, you know, the weight of the world is on their shoulders, that if they don't score, the team can't succeed. How does Zeta and her team, especially her teammates, help her not feel that pressure and obviously just be able to play as loose as she does?
I think these girls are so special because they've developed such a close relationship with each other and that they don't always feel the need that they have to score. And I think that helps a lot as well as we have so many other girls on the team that can score. We have Ayla Ray, Sam Severin that can shoot the threes, Rachel Spalding. So there's so many other pieces of the puzzle as well that I think that helps ease the pressure too, that it doesn't have to just fall on her shoulders all the time.
Non-conference schedule, you guys feature a lot of great opponents, but this isn't anything new. I want to pair that with just talking about girls athletics at Austintown Fitch as a whole, because a lot of these girls you mentioned are multi-sport athletes too. And once you get bigger in schools, you don't see that necessarily as much, but these girls are still phenomenal athletes. What can you speak on in just the athletics from the girls side at Austintown Fitch? I mean, they all seem like they have winning seasons year in and year out. Tremendous athletes. You were one of them too. What can you say on the athletics over there?
I think the athletics here are held to a very high standard, and we're very fortunate for everything we are given. And we're able to utilize, like, we have our own coach at the weight room, and just they go above and beyond for us. And we potentially have 3 Division I athletes playing for us, and not basketball wise, but we have Zeta Creaky, then we have Jocelyn Jordan, who committed to YSU for volleyball, and then we have Ayla Ray, who verbally committed to YSU for softball, and then we have freshman Kylie Folkwine, who will potentially probably be yeah, you're all
Let's be real, like
athlete.
let's
Yeah, I would say softball, but I mean, I don't know, she's
Never
so
know.
young. Exactly. So we are just blessed that Austintown cares so much about athletics, and even the girls side of the programs too, that the strength and conditioning coach isn't just for the boys programs, and that us coaches on the girls end too communicate with each other to share practice times and our players so that we make sure that they get to every other sport, and we have to be understanding about it too, because at the end of the day we need them here. Like Ayla Ray with softball, I mean, if she's got to go to a tournament or whatever during summer, all right, because I still want you at basketball, and I know softball is your primary sport. I'm not fighting with that because I know I'm not going to win. So go ahead, go to softball, but when you come back, hopefully you can just lock in and remember to switch to basketball now.
My final thing for you today, Coach, is just wanting you to highlight your coaching staff. We know that you have a lot of great people behind you that are helping you build this program. So I want you to go through your staff and talk about them and what they bring to the Falcons program.
Jason Senedak is my assistant coach. He was my assistant, like my own coach, when I was a senior for a couple of months before he went to Lakeview to be the head coach. And then we coached together 2 years ago. His knowledge of the game is really unbelievable, and he will do anything to help out anyone. Defensively, he helps a lot out with that and just his different ideas on what we can get in. He's great at just coming up with on the spot too. Dan Horacek is the JV coach. He's been around for years and years and years. His knowledge of the game and love for the girls is great. Jake Capizzuto is the freshman, or like the Freshmore team coach. He's coached the middle school level for a few years, and he played here at Fitch as well. I think he graduated in 2014. And same thing, just the energy all of these guys bring, and they want to be here every day, and they're willing to work with the girls, and they want to see them succeed. That's the best thing we could ask for, is for them to bring that positive attitude every day. And then Erica DeFrancesco is a volunteer who I played with, and she graduated in 2018.
We know the DeFrancescos too. They're
Yeah.
pretty well known in that Fitch community. Coach, last thing, I don't even want to ask a question, more of just a shameless self-promotion. That gym, when it gets rocking, you know as well as I do, it could send a jolt of energy through those Falcon teams. So tell that community why they need to get out there and support this Austintown girls basketball team this season.
This team has major potential, and when things get going, we just feed off of it. We feed off the energy. We had our preview game last night, and it was as loud as can be. The bench cheers for each other nonstop, and the louder we can get it and the more cheers we can get, the more hype the team gets and the better flow they get in, and the faster the pace they go. And that's just what we need. We need everybody there to help us lead our pace of the game.
We're definitely excited for it, Coach, and we can't wait for the start of the basketball season. You can catch some games of the regular season absolutely free on ysnlive.com, thanks in part to our wonderful sponsors. This has been another edition of Coach's Corner, first time with Natalie Lynn, the head coach of Austintown Fitch girls basketball team.